So, hello guys and welcome aboard. This evening, if FSX, actually it's not FSX, that's why it's not working, if P3D decides to work into a Monday capture, which it just has, we'll be taking American 158 from Orlando to Miami. A few differences with this video, which I'll talk about a bit more once we get into the aircraft. I've just realised I made a phenomenal mistake, but that'll be corrected for the next video, and it's not something you should hopefully notice. Okay, so I'm actually using my new tablet, which I got expressly to use as an electronic flight bag. Yeah, I'm just checking that worked. And I got it expressly to use as an EFB. That's what I should use it as. Ignore that. Just ignore it. It's a dodgy stand to connect to an airbridge with. So, we'll get ready. We'll start the APU. Now we'll come, actually it's IRS's to nav before we do anything, because that's going to take 8 minutes to align. Probably boarding will take less time than that. So, return. Load and fuel. This aircraft's operating in kilograms, this is hopefully, yes, this is in kilograms as well, good. So we're releasing with 4.8 tons of fuel on board. In terms of the payload, we've got 117 passengers on board. I'm using a PFPX flight plan, by the way. They come with 5 tons of cargo, so we'll just do an instant load. Aircraft bounces a little bit, but no biggie. Okay, Inish. So as I said, it's Orlando today. Orlando McCord to Miami, which is KMIA. Really quite a short flight actually today. Remarkably short in my opinion. No co-routes were loaded in. Align the IRSs. Our alternate is KFLL, which is Fort Lauderdale. We'll be taking radar vectors on that route, so we don't need to actually input the route. American 158 is our call sign. Cost index is 85. What altitude are we cruising at? Let's just quickly find that one. 17,000. Okay. And that's that plugged in. Flight plans. Departure from KMCO according to latest weather is departure from runway 18 right. Following the Jag. Okay, the Jag 4 departure will do. With we'll just insert that because we won't be doing a transition. Waypoint after that is Presque waypoint. Papa Romeo Echo Sierra Kilo. And then after that it's pretty simple initialization today actually, it's just one long route. Airways, and it's the Victor 159. To Treasure. Tango or Romeo Victor. There we go, now perf. We'll do flaps 1 for the takeoff because it's a glorious long runway. That's everything initialized. So what we can do is we can request boarding. You can see I'm back in prepared. There we go, many Englishes. That should have been aligning by now, shouldn't it? Yeah, they're all in now, it'll be aligned shortly. And we'll do American for our handling, of course. Because we're American all the way. There we go. Okay, now that the APU's fully started, I just realised, why is life never simple? It's actually not feeding any of the audio through the headset, which is just frustrating. But hey, I'm going to actually mute the GSX audio because you wouldn't hear that in the real aircraft. Oh crumbs, I muted the wrong thing. Silly me. 2 seconds folks, there we go. Believe it or not, prepared isn't actually muted at this stage, and it should be on the headset within the next few seconds or so, because what I can do is I can just do that, which pulls my speakers out, which forces everything over at the headset. So what we can do to start getting ready for departure. 2200 is going to be our squawk. Crumbs. There we go, 2200. What I'll do is I'm not going to risk connecting to VATSIM because last time I tried it crashed, and I don't do that kind of stuff twice. So I'll have a quick look at where we're actually going to be going to taxi. Again, I can't show you the chart because it's just going to be ridiculously complex for me to do that. Orlando Sanford. Okay, I'm just putting this up on the tablet. It's quite an extended taxi out. It's not the shortest one, but the way I redefine that. I have to think. Oh no, it is a very long taxi out. We're going to get pushed and go nose left, tail right. Then taxi off down Juliet, then Charlie, past North Cargo area, and over onto Bravo 1, crossing over all the way to 18 right for departure. Okay, I'm pretty happy I know where I'm going now. We should be pretty sorted in the next few moments. Okay, back to the original flight information. Initial altitude, we may as well go all the way up to 17,000 for this. There's no point in us doing anything else. The ADIRUs have aligned. ADIR, it's a hard word, trust me guys. Okay, 17,000, bang. As I say, I'm in prepared now, which I really do quite like. It's like what FSX was like if you had really good EMB filters and had the whole thing tweaked quite heavily. Another thing I really do like about it as well is I have my FPS locked at 20 because that's what I capture at. Now normally if I was at Orlando on FSX I'd be getting single figure frames. When I did the Cross the Pond 10.5 hour stream to YouTube, that was actually, for me, that was, you know, I'm surprised the sim actually managed that, because it was that borderline on crashing. Yeah, it's nose left, tail right, and then we taxi off that way, and then turn off up there, over that nice bridge, and then if you look over that way, I think the mouse cursor is displayed. That runway there is 18 right. I am flying offline today just because it's one of my first proper flights in prepared, because I haven't really had much time for flight sim recently. Mainly P3D, because I've been busy helping set up the VA, which I'll be making more noise about soon. I'm making flights for them near enough every day now, though, to build up my hours to make me a first officer, not a trainee. I'm going to have to talk to the IT guys about getting that knocked down from 50 hours to be a trainee. But hey, so it'd be an FO. Okay, he's done. How close are we to having a boarded flight? I wonder. Anyway, but I do have some good news. I've got, as you know, I've been employmentally challenged. Ready for, yeah, prepare for push departure. No, we'll start them during push. Okay, I'll also detach the air bridge before we go to internal view, because it'll take, alright, it's actually doing quite well, removing itself. Obviously I have to shut all the doors before we can go. Now, at an air bridge stand, the reason you'd actually have the steps at the back isn't to deplane passengers. It's to, it's in case there's an emergency and they need to get out in a hurry. Let's say there was a situation not so long ago where the air bridge caught fire, like that part. So obviously they couldn't get off through the air bridge, so they had to get out down slides and through other methods. Oh yeah, of course, ground connections. Completely forgot about those. Park brake can come on. The reason you turn the park brake off is to allow the brakes to cool, but I'm imagining you all know that. If you've watched a few of my videos. Traffic cones, chocks, and external power away. Now what I can do is I can start APU bleed, beacon lights on, auto brake max. Whilst they're locking the gear, I'm going to start the number 1. That was the wrong switch. They look pretty similar. You'd soon realise your mistake. Okay. Just wondering why the number 1 was at 2%, now it's dropping. Anyway, but we're getting a good start. Releasing parking brake. There we go. All engines go. Start it well. Don't worry, I already am starting out well. Oh, that was me bringing the joystick onto my knee because it was sitting on my desk to free my lap up. Yeah, what a heck of a thing. Just the amount of stuff that decided it didn't want to be on my desk anymore. So they could push us onto that piece of grass. We will try and do a single engine taxi out today, which would look pretty good in my opinion. Because they would do them in the real world if they had a taxi out of a similar length to this one. Because as I've said, it's the fuel consumption on one engine is about 60% of that if you were running both. And the only thing it means is that we have to defer the flight control check because not all hydraulic systems are pressurized. Alright, I don't think he's gonna turn me. So I found with the latest GSX that it doesn't ask you which way you want to be turned, and it just kind of brakes. I've seen them get pushed out straight if they haven't been told which way to turn. Actually this specific type of aircraft as well. Not this airline, but a specific aircraft. Stop here and complete pushback. Because you'd end up pushing into that water, which would just screw the whole sim up, and the sim would not understand what was going on. Parking brakes are set. I've left all of the informations and tags and things like that on. I am down to single figure frames occasionally here, but it's not too bad. Taxi lights going on, I don't care that I'm blinding the pug sod. Landing lights are off, runway lights are on. Strobe lights are off currently, they don't need to be on to the runway. That should have been on. I don't understand why that doesn't default to being on. Let's just check hydraulics, because I think I'm right in saying that it won't pressurise all the systems. Yeah, green system isn't pressurising, and if you look at flight controls, which is just underneath, that's tied, I think a lot of it's tied to green. I'm sure what I can do is I can just say start 1, because if we start the number 1 during the taxi, it'll save us the time and the effort. That's amazing physics right there. Oh, and it's starting to rain outside. It's a glorious sunset. It's not a cloud in the sky, but it's starting to rain. He's going to have a go at me for releasing parking brake, but I don't really care. Because in the real world, he'd either get into the pushback tug and leave, or turned and left and given us a hand signal, and not taken anywhere near as long as that. Be careful because the aircraft, the asymmetric thrust, is trying to stray as close as it can to the edge of the taxiway. Okay, it's going to be a left out of onto Juliet, I believe, if we said it was. Yeah, Juliet. Out of ramp onto Juliet. Juliet 3, then Juliet. Yeah, number 1's now started. So we'll do a flight control check at the hold. But as I say though, even flying this at 12 FPS, it feels like it's gliding along. And we are going to Miami today, and not talk about it much, but it's for well, the reason it's the taxi to gate scenery. So Latin VFR. This is taxi to gate Miami, and I've acquired it a while ago, and I never really went there, so I've changed my mind and I want to go there. I want to say the HDR in P3D looks absolutely gorgeous. That alone makes the upgrade from FSX worth it. I love driving aeroplanes over bridges. I know in train sim videos I've said I like driving trains over bridges because it just feels cool. But driving an aeroplane over a bridge? 10 times cool? I've even kicked up some dust. And I will also tell you that we are using the FSFX immersion package, which is probably why we're getting that kind of stuff going on, because it's quite a humid day here in Florida. Winds actually are calm, but it's a humid day, as I say, so we'll get some nice effects hopefully. Over in front of us, that's the maintenance area. Up to my right, that's cargo north. Let's go back internal. Tower can see us taxiing off. I love these sorts of cameras that Aerosoft have been adding recently with their aircraft. Come on, let's have some centerline pride, Mr. Aeroplane. There we go. Alright, so, and then it's right up here. Let's head all the way to the end, then left. We don't actually drive through cargo area, but we drive kind of like the taxiway goes into the ramp and then leaves. Okay, let's get ready for takeoff. So, flaps can go to position 1. It's also mapped the other way to what it was normally beforehand, so I've got to be careful. Let's just have a quick look and see what the switch is doing. Yeah, that's it at 1. Spoilers are armed. Oops. Trim mustn't be configured yet, but it's still pretty sensible. I'm waiting for a decent tool for the Airbus in terms of takeoff performance. Also, as I say, the FS Labs Airbus, I'm quite looking forward to that coming out, because I quite like the Airbus in terms of the way it helps. If you look at the NJ, the 737, it's a really quite nice airplane to fly, don't get me wrong, but the workload's just 10 times higher. I mean, if I was doing the flight control, the kind of work I'm doing on this trip, well, actually we can do flight controls on the fly. So that's full right aileron, there's full left aileron, neutral, full back, full forward, neutral. Now I'll just stop the aircraft very quickly. Full left rudder, full right rudder, neutral. Okay, we can get moving again. If I did that on the taxi, my only issue was the aircraft would literally veer left then right, and we could potentially get the aircraft off the runway, which wasn't good. So, that's cargo north, straight in front of us. I believe Bravo 1 is this one at the end. Please tell me this taxiway. Yeah, it does turn left. I had a fright there, thinking it didn't. But hey, it's... Okay, so clear on the approach, check. Takeoff checklist. Ignition mode selector, normal. Take transponder, TA and RA. TA till above. Now landing lights, they can come on. Seatbelts, strobes. Cabin crew, please take your seats. Okay, cabin report has been received, we'll pretend. So, what I'll be doing is we enter the runway, I'll start the timers by hitting chrono, and that'll hopefully time the duration of our flight. I love just the way the Airbus looks with volumetric, with all this kind of gorgeousness of P3D. And American 158 is cleared for takeoff, runway 08 right. Right, I'm just going to turn myself into the runway, and we'll get going. Okay, climb, flex. Straight out climb, look at that, nice and simple. And timing, 80 knots check. That'll that was a little bit late by me because I delayed myself by not remembering to hit the timer on. I can also show you very quickly. You can see we've got the volumetric effects going on there. Very pretty. V1. Rotate. Let's see if we can get the wing effect going on. Positive right. Gear up. Again, I've never actually seen this happen on an Airbus, and also apparently you can see some effects coming off the wheels as they retract, but I can't. I've never managed to notice them, which is the brake dust apparently coming off the tyres. Again, I've never noticed that. You could be different. Autopilot engaged. Again, let's just go back to the external view and enjoy the nice effects whilst they last. So you can see that that will get more and more severe. That will get more and more severe. When I did my review of this the FSFX immersion for the A320 review for the magazine I write for, I actually basically fully just yomped the nose back straight after takeoff and basically did the telescope test pretty much. Just to see what the aircraft would do in terms of listening to me and all that kind of stuff. Alright, we need to do a DIR2. Whoa. Ooh, dizzying. So direct, we'll go direct to Jihmu. It's not a particularly long flight today, it's only half an hour. So, flaps up. Ignition, oh, that's set, all that's set. Spoilers can never come disarmed. Just after takeoff checks I'm running through. Lights can they'll stay until 10,000, but we'll take the seatbelt sign off passing 10,000. So that's good. And as you can see as well, this is, I believe, Orbex FTX Global. I've got installed. I've just installed P3D and I already can't remember what's installed in it. So Jimu, I'm going to call it, is now 18 miles. So yeah, 18 miles away. Meant to get there in about 3 minutes time. We'll be passing through 10,000 by then. Speed's good, things good. What we can do now is bing bong, and the cabin crew are free to move around the cabin. So you now hear that PA, everybody that you always get, of, ladies and gentlemen, that was not the fasten seatbelt sign coming off, please do not get up, as you hear all the seatbelts in the aircraft clicking off. I sometimes think I'm the only person who actually listens to that PA. Right, engines look good, bleeds look good. Anyway guys, so talking points for this flight. I'm probably going to cut it at some stage because actually half an hour I can keep that going. Top of climb is 2 and 8. I'm just going to have a look at this to work out how long we've actually got until top of descent after TOC. Yeah, I haven't actually installed the arrival yet, which is bad. Anyway, what I was saying was, changes in my life. On this, well, I've got an interview on the 2nd of December, which warrants me being away for 3 days, because I have to travel to get there and it's not nearby. I'll vlog the whole experience, don't worry. I'm not going to vlog the interview because I don't want to jeopardise my chances of getting a job. As much as I love this YouTube channel, I really do, I'll vlog my travels, I'll vlog, potentially I might be taking a friend down there with me, so I'll totally vlog that for you guys, but I'm not going to vlog the interview, that's 10,000 there, because I don't want to jeopardise my chances of a job. Landing lights come off, turn-offs come off, nose lights come off, seatbelt signs, they come off, and that goes to automatic, which it means it stays on. It just removes the cautionary from there, so I have a lot more space for things. APU bleed comes off. The APU is factored into our fuel plan, so that stays on. Anyway, but as I say, I don't want to jeopardise my chances of getting this job, because I'll be looking for a job now for 6 months actively, and this is my 3rd interview, and it's going to cost me about £250 just to get there in the first place, so I don't want to jeopardise this interview at all. So I'm not going to vlog it. I'll vlog everything except the interview. Sorry if that makes you feel let down, but that's just the way it is. It's my channel, my rules. Anyway, we're not going to change the this, by the way. That you know what I mean. Also, 2nd interview as well, which is going to be with a well-known UK holiday carrier, which isn't Thompson. That's all I'm going to say, and that's after Christmas, so that's going to be quite enjoyable. Someone's just decided to call me halfway through me making a video. I'm just going to reject the call, and what I'll do is I'll actually just fast forward this section, and I'll take that call now. I've hopefully remembered to fast forward the last few minutes in post-production. We've only been flying 10 minutes and we're already approaching the Treasure VOR, which means it's time for us to install the arrival to Miami. There we go. English? Hello? Are you there? Arrival to. So we'll take an ILS 09. And we'll take the Annie to Yankee. No transitions. So all I need to do is remove that. Insert. Oh crumbs, I've just maxed the throttles out by accident. There we go. What's that doing to the profile? Nothing too major. Landing 1831 in 27 minutes, hopefully, according to this, with 2.9 tons of fuel on board. APU is obviously still running. That's. Actually, look at the fuel screens. Yeah, it's the wing tanks are the ones that have got the fuel in. Okay, so as I said, Annie it's going to be a bit of a flight, so what I'll probably end up doing is cutting the mic again, since I've done the arrival, and then fast forwarding it a bit more. Because top of drop, you've got to realise, isn't till, 10 minutes before we land, 9-10 minutes. We can do the perf though. So temperature was, I think it was about 22, because I've checked the MET that's how I know. 22C. 22, come on. QNH is 1013 hectopascals. Winds are calm, because I've just set this up for a nice easy scenario for me to fly. Transition altitude's 18,000, so I've already passed it. Config will be full. Barrow ref decision point, I'll get that now. As I say, I'm using my tablet, which is really quite a cheap one. So I can't do screen capturing on it, but I can do things like, the charts and the manuals and all the stuff that I would need, which I personally think is a good idea. It's a good thing to have for me personally. If you want to hate on me, you can hate on me. You have my executive permissions to hate. All the permissions you'll ever need. So what we'll do is we'll go with one of the stands. I think I've got all the AFCADs installed, so the aircraft knows which stands it can go to and which stands it can't. Sorry that we're still looking at the boring stuff. We'll have a look outside. It's just I haven't installed EasyDock yet because I don't want to, because it broke my sim completely last time. There we go. That's a nice little view for you to look at whilst I quickly pull out the data for the ILS. It's just Miami's got tons of SIDS and stars, and obviously I'm using JEPs, so my ILS plates are going to be right the way at the bottom. I'm at the bottom. Do. Oops. Naughty Ivana. Please to God I shouldn't be watching this video. But anyway, I do love the way P3D looks, because this is either default or... I actually think it is default, this. And I haven't done much to it, and it looks real. Wasn't even Ivana. Okay. I'm just gonna... I know it's highly unprofessional of me to text whilst flying. There we go, it's muted. So now you can't hear me when I text. but I'll probably get rid of that texting sound in post-production. Got loads of on-nav approaches if you want to have a go at one of those. ILS runway 09 approach. Okay. So decision height for us, because we're category C/D aircraft, shall be 200 feet radar reference, which is what we'll be using because it's a precision approach today. So it's 200. Right guys, so as I say, I'm going to cut the mic again, and I'll come back after a bit of a fast forward when we're approaching top of drop. See you then folks, bye! Just done the brakes rather quickly there, didn't I? So we're just turning overhead Hilly, waypoint, and we're approaching, well, Fort Lauderdale off on the right there somewhere, but we can't see it for the fog, because visibility's pretty humid, so the visibility's down. There's more water particles in the air that you can't see as far. You all know the drill. I just saw Thunderflash there, I think, but that might be in the strobes. Anyway, so American 158 is a substantial part of the way through her flight now. 1 November A35 Alpha Whiskey, depending on what you want to call the aircraft. We are now, as I say, approaching top of drop, so I'm sorry, I just can't get over how good this looks in Prepared as opposed to FSX. It really is the next generation as Prepared. It doesn't look visually like, you know, it's not a different game like X-Plane. X-Plane still looks stunning, but this looks pretty good too. I mean, the Aerosoft Airbus has always caused people FPS issues, but it's pretty gorgeous. Anyway, so our next altitude, looking at the SID, the star, sorry, will be crossing VKZ at 5,000. So I'll just actually scroll that down. In case you're wondering what we're going to do after VKZ, we're going to radar vector ourselves. Trust me, it works. I've done it in the past. This is but yeah, as I say, I'm just looking forward to this. The Bing you heard before was a friend of mine asking me if I had an interview with the same airline she had an interview with, and I said maybe. No, she was asking me if I'd heard back from them. Sorry, she didn't ask me if I had an interview, so I don't know if she's got an interview yet. When we land, what we'll do is we'll vacate the runway and we'll actually use the Follow Me facility in GSX and use it to guide us to a stand. More drag, the aircraft says. I'm coming about half spoiler, I think. Not full, half, 2/3, half. Okay, quarter and a bit. So the goal is to get down to 5,000 feet, then position ourselves onto a onto a right-hand downwind to land. Runway 09. The aircraft itself is saying it's running scosh on fuel, as they say. Obviously got more on the left, the right side than we do on the left, because the left is where the APU takes its fuel from. As you can see, my terrain's not loading in particularly well today because it's trying to load that thing hidden by the... Oh no, it's down there. That's Miami over there. So it's the one thing that is good is we are catching up the altitude which it wanted us to be at the altitude and distance kind of situation. I'm going to score the altitude down to 3,000 now. Take over and heading select. And just manoeuvre 220. We aren't quite on VKZ just yet, but we're getting there. Also, we're passing 10k. On, everything on. Hopefully that's the runway we'll be landing on. Okay, I've just taken it into manual mode for the descent, because we need to descend quite steeply because I don't want to be extending miles out to get to 3,000 foot marker. I'm now going to roll 270 to give you an idea of how steep this is actually going, or 260, just to give you an idea of how tight this circuit's actually going to be, or this downwind. Because, as I say, there's no point keeping the aircraft in the air any longer than we have to. It just means it costs company more, and then they get annoyed with us. I reckon we'll vacate about there, so we can probably either just taxi in one of these stands and work out which stand it is, then call GSX, or call GSX and then follow its expert directions. Heading 272 now. Altitude down to 2,500. It would be so awkward if I wasn't actually recording right now. I don't know where I am. It's good. I've actually been recording this for 50 minutes now. Hopefully the video won't be that long. Well, the total length of it might be, but not right now. Hopefully I've remembered to fast forward and you haven't heard me chomping on my rice and Kiev. Drink Kiev. It's quite a slick little aircraft and it's not descending as quickly as you anticipate it would. And we can have a look at the ILS. It's tuned in. 092, yeah, I was right. The heading we're flying. A little bit of a rock there. It's not a particularly turbulent day. And I'd say once we get the ILS on and we pull speed off, the aircraft will start making vortexes for us, which will look gorgeous. I mean, right now it's not generating anything because we're going too fast for vortexes. Right, that's got for man indication. I'm just going to pulse the speed right back to 180 knots. That'll cause some disturbances in the airflow that we should be able to see. Alright, peculiar, it isn't. I don't know why the terrain doesn't load in as nicely as it should. but it's a problem. It's the drawbacks of having a medium NPC, I would say. And I think even with a high end, you would have these issues on occasion. Okay, flaps 1. There we go, train's loading in now that I've slowed it down. I think it's probably because it's trying to load the airport in, then load everything else in. As I say, though, this flight for me was more of just a proof of concept that this could actually be done with, with P3D, and P3D wasn't fatally flawed on this PC, which it has shown me it is possible, which I'm really quite happy with. Okay, so we'll just fly an intercept onto about heading of 030. ILS symbology. There it is. Arming approach mode. I'm surprised again we haven't got any of the vortexes. I think we'll probably get them once we get the ILS. I'm using Orbex trees, which look very nice, I have to say. This aircraft is starting to shape up very nicely. Is it ETOPS? I think this one might be ETOPS. Called. No, it's just a flag. I think this is one of the US Airways birds that was resprayed to American standards. We'll go to ILS mode. I'm coming in quite fast, but to be completely honest, train off. We're still at 11 miles, so that's no big deal. No big deal, yeah. Again, the autogen's not keeping up, but who cares? I'm supposed to be back to 160 knots. I'm going to try and get us at least a few of these. I'm also going to have a look and see where the... You'd normally see I could bark me over the top here. I was custom, wasn't it, for wing gears? Or it just didn't work. Oh well. Sorry guys. I was quite looking forward to the vortexes I would get. There we go, we're going downhill now. Let's slow ourselves down to VREF. We're still a little way out, but no, again, no biggie. It's a nice little slowing down cycle. Lap 3. Come on, aeroplane. I'll put gear down. The gear shows so. Yeah, well, apparently you see brake dust coming off the gear, but I've actually never noticed it. I don't know if there's something wrong with my FSX settings or what, but. There we go, we're bang on the money. I'm going to go back into the cockpit now, just because the effects obviously aren't coming. Sorry guys. Auto brakes medium, landing lights on, AP is available. AP bleed can come on already. Cabin crew, please take your seats. Okay. We're down on VAPP, which we can confirm. We are at 125, 127 VAPP. Yeah. 128 actually, so out of marker, check. And again, I don't understand why the audio hasn't gone to my headset. I've got teething issues with P3D on my PC, but frankly, it's still a gorgeous thing to fly with. I know the reason there's no autogen is actually the airport, because this is just sat scenery with no autogen. If you look down there, all the autogen's loaded in now. How close am I to an OOM out of sheer interest, because obviously I've got no audio. That's not bad. When I loaded the aircraft in on the ground at Orlando, it was at 1.9 VAS numbers, so 1.9 gigabytes of memory used. It's now only at 2.1, which sounds bad, but if you think about the flight we've done, it's been at low level, so it's been loading all the scenery in, and it's been from 2 very detailed aerodromes. Okay, just starting to destabilize it up, so autopilot comes off. I said autopilot comes off. There we go. Careful. Power. And I'm just going to fly everything manually now. Airplane's mine. I'm going to disengage the warning horn. Landing ECAM, green, no blue. You can see I'm actually flying the aircraft by hand now to get us back onto profile. I'm not concerned about this being a botched landing because it'll work. I'm happy that it will, but as I say, I'm just working with what I've got. Okay, throttle's idle. Fly. Whoa. Float. Ripperoonie. Okay, reverse green. $60 knots. I'm going to reset my viewpoint because I've broken it. There we go. Flaps coming up. Spoilers. We've arrived now. Let's just reset my system. And I'm just going to have a look at the wheel. You can. I'm going to monitor that. Crumbs. I want this turn off. We'll just head over to the parking over there. I am hopefully going to do another flight in the near future in P3D, since it has proven to me now that it can do flights. This flight, as I say, was more of a check flight than anything else, because I didn't want to do a flight with somebody where I knew it was going to crash, things like that. In terms of stabilities, it's about as stable as FSX, but still, you know, I'm running it quite hard. And the fact that I'm running quite a high resolution, quite a big aircraft, quite a heavy aircraft. Actually, that's funny. The last time we were in Miami was in an Airbus. But it's actually on YouTube as well, when I did Miami to Toronto. That was probably the yeah, the Miami to Toronto was probably the most botched video I've done today. We're just heading to those stands over there. Let's see if... yeah, it's not going to tell me what's available to my airline. And we're going to go into this taxiway. Now that we are taxiing in though, I can do a few things, because we're now in a straight taxiway for a little while. Transponder off. Number 1, engine off. Landing light, turn offs off, landings off, taxi, strobes off. There we go, I'm ready for the taxi in. Okay, we're crossing a runway. Clear that way, clear that way. We are the only people in the world, so I'm not particularly concerned about being smited by either another pilot on VATSIM or AI. More commonly AI if you're me, but you know. Sorry folks, I just got a little bit of a cough. One thing that does slightly annoy me with P3D is that AES is not yet supported. Now, I deplored the idea of AES, but I now have that many Aerosoft airports that I actually do need AES support services, so yeah. I should also be doing, I'm also going to try and arrange a group flight to do Power with Jason. He'll stream it, I'll film it. Okay, tap the brake, just gently going to bring the nose up. There we go. I know that I would normally have I would normally be branding the marshaller, but show me the marshaller. Also, it's down to Foxtrot 21, so I can call parking services for. Okay, Foxtrot 21. Nope. And we'll take American. Pop. Oops. Alright, no marshal. It thinks there's an AFDS board, which there isn't. For whatever reason. So we'll just stop the aircraft in about that position. Park breaker set. Number 2 engine comes off. Beacon can now come off. That comes off, that comes off. That stays on. Seatbelt sign comes off. Please tell me that was seatbelts, not no smoking. Yeah, that was seatbelts, that's off. And allow the air bridge to connect. Is it connected or is it just refusing to connect? Of course it's refusing to connect. Anyway folks, yeah, the air bridges are broken. So, just walk me there where it thinks I should be. Oh right, that's why it ain't working. The F cards are broken. I'm not moving myself from where I was. So thanks for tuning in folks. I parked a bit too short. You walked me to the parking spot. GSX. Yes, I'm talking to you. As I say guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!